Well, I'm back again, and I'm just gonna wait a moment to see if anybody comes into the stream. Let's see, he's on. See if someone comes into the stream. But I'll wait a minute, and if nobody comes in the stream, I'll just start anyway. Well, looks like nobody's coming in. I'm going to start the stream anyway. Here goes. Now, when many people think about oil, they think about places like Texas, Oklahoma, and recently North Dakota. There's a little bit I want to explain. Currently, of the top 10 oil producing counties in the United States of America, two of them are located in the state of New Mexico. And of those two that are located in the state of New Mexico, these are the two: Lee County, New Mexico, and Eddy County, New Mexico. These are areas where the cities of Artesia, Carlsbad, Hobbs, New Mexico are located. They're located in southeast New Mexico along the border with Texas. And to get an idea of the geography of New Mexico, I'm going to bring up Google Earth. I'm going to show you for a moment. There's New Mexico. There's New Mexico right there. And I'm going to show you the part of New Mexico that I'm talking about. Yeah, there is the town of Carl. If you get closer, you get the towns there. You got the towns there of Artesia, Hobbs, Carlsbad. You know, the areas around here. Those are the areas I'm speaking of. You got, oops, my phone looks a little junky, but yeah, those are the areas I'm talking about. Now, places such as Carlsbad, New Mexico, Hobbs, New Mexico, places like that, places like that, Hello, Freelance Ronan. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining the stream today. Oh, we got two people here. I'm gonna do. Oh, hello, Rachel Tovar. Hello. Now, one of the things I was talking about New Mexico. I was talking about places such as Hobbs, talking about, in fact, I think this map back here would probably be a better example. To give you a better idea, there's Texas, and then you've got that area right around there, Texas New Mexico border. What I was showing you around the Texas New Mexico border, you've got that. There's a region around there in western Texas and eastern New Mexico known as the Permian Basin. It is geological region where there is a lot of oil being produced. This is where a large percentage of Texas oil reserves are. There's a lot of oil around areas such as Midland, Texas, Midland, Odessa. I'll bring back the Google Earth. Give you an idea of where that is. You got Midland. Ugh. I'm probably going to have to refer back to this map again. This is going to stink again. You got areas like Midland up here, Odessa around here, and then you go further west into New Mexico, you've got Hobbs, Carlsbad, those areas. Now, one of the things about those places around, the Permian Basin, you have the geography of like the plains, because those are the areas in New Mexico and in western Texas that are part of the plains region. A lot of flat areas. And there is a lot of oil being drilled right now in New Mexico, specifically around Lee County, Eddy County. And the thing about those areas, the thing to understand about those areas right now, oil production it's actually tripled over the last 5 years. There's been a lot of oil production has tripled over the last 5 years, and there's a lot of potential there. There's a big oil boom going on right now in New Mexico. About 50% of the state's oil in New Mexico is being drilled in that area. Because you have the Permian Basin, which part of it goes into New Mexico. As you know, you have both places bordering each other. And the one thing you have to really think about is right now there are about 14.6 billion barrels of oil being drilled right now it's Lee County, New Mexico. In fact, I'm going to pull the article up where I got it from. I'm going to put the article in. I'm going to put the article in. And go to KOB, New Mexico News. Oh man, this is getting stupid. I can't. Ugh. Hold on for a moment, and I think there's something wrong with my computer. It's stalling. 14.6 million, not billion. It's million. But yeah, right now, those two counties together are responsible for close to 25 million barrels of oil coming out of the state of New Mexico. And there's the article. There's the article. I encourage you to click on that and read it. You have to think about right now, there's a lot of potential right now for New Mexico to become one of the United States' major energy dynamos. Because you think about a state like New Mexico being, it's emerging, it's booming with the oil industry. And there's a lot to look at there. Currently, New Mexico is one of the poorer states in the United States of America. And there's a lot of implication of what this could do in terms of bringing revenue into the state and in terms of boosting the economy in New Mexico. Because when you think about the oil industry and how many people it's going to employ within the state of New Mexico, as well as bringing more people into the state of New Mexico, you think about how much growth is going to go into the economy in the next 5 years or so. And then you think about how many more people are going to go to that area within the next 5 years. Because Rachel Tovar says, which is weird because in New Mexico they're trying to boost solar energy. I'm going to get to that in a moment. I will get to that in a moment because I'm not only going to talk about oil. Right now, this is just the first part. Right now in New Mexico, more and more oil is being produced, more is being drilled, and there's a big potential there for a big boost because right now, next door in Texas, they're producing a lot of oil. Same is going for North Dakota, same going for Oklahoma. And it's like New Mexico is going to become, it's emerging as a major producer of oil in the United States of America. I mean, think about it. Just two counties are responsible for half of the state's oil production. So when you really think of that, you think about how much potential there is in the economy, how much potential there is in terms of jobs, and how much revenue is going to come in, and how that's going to be important for putting more money aside for schools, for infrastructure, for police, and just how much of a boost it's going to give for New Mexico's economy. And there's more. There's also the potential for New Mexico to be a major energy dynamo, and I'm going to get into that right now. New Mexico is one of the sunniest states in the United States of America, which is very fitting because you have many regions of New Mexico that are a desert. Not all of New Mexico is a desert. A lot of people don't know that there are some alpine regions in New Mexico. There are also some forests in New Mexico, but there are a lot of desert areas in New Mexico, and you have a lot of sunshine, and that is a major, major boom. There's a major boon, a major benefit for solar energy. And so far, there are several solar plants installed in New Mexico right now. There is the potential for New Mexico to install even more because of its sunny climate. And so when you have all of that put together, that's going to be really good in terms of helping New Mexico become an important energy dynamo, and in terms of being a major producer in energy. And how New Mexico has the potential there to build more in terms of its solar power resources. And I'm thinking about you know, being a geographer, I am of the school of thought. I am not one to say I am not, just from a geographic perspective, just for someone who looks at economic geography, somebody who looks at physical geography, I am not going to say don't drill. I'm not going to say don't do solar power. I'm going to say let's explore all the potential that's there based on the lay of the land of a particular area. And in the case of New Mexico, there is so much potential there to look at. Obviously, you have the oil resources, which I just touched on. And now I'm going to get into the solar resources that New Mexico has and how much that could benefit the state. And I also want to get into this. An economy cannot function off of oil alone. It is important to take some of that revenue that comes in from oil and put it towards other projects, put it towards more scientific research into the solar energy industry and into the wind energy. I'll get into that in a moment. But it's important because, you know, New Mexico being a major solar energy there's so much potential to build even more solar energy capacity. It also makes you wonder, New Mexico might be a fitting place to build a lot of solar cells, a lot of solar photovoltaic cells, and just to build on that. And that could be another major economic benefit for the state. I mean, there's just so much potential there. And then there's more. New Mexico has a lot of wind energy. There are plenty of windy areas in New Mexico, and because of that, there's a lot of potential there to build on wind energy and to generate a lot of energy that way. There is just so much there towards the potential. When you think about the lay of the land, you think about the geography, you think about the climate, there's so much potential there. There's also the potential, like, you think, if we can install a lot of wind energy, we can also build the turbines. We can build the turbines that are used for the windmills. There's a lot we can do. We can produce it right here. So in many ways, energy, the potential for New Mexico to be a major energy dynamo is there. It is there when you look at the lay of the land. You look at the location around the Permian Basin. You look at the area where you have a lot of wind, you have a sunny climate, and you also have to think oil is going to be a major part of the economy, but it's not going to be the only part of the economy. There are other parts of the economy to consider. You have to consider how the land shapes the economy and how it can be used to its advantage. And right now, New Mexico is at an advantage point in terms of its geography, and there's so much to build. And so, New Mexico is drilling oil. New Mexico is building solar energy. It's building wind energy. And there's a lot of potential to build even more and, to become an even bigger energy dynamo in the United States of America. Not unlike that of Texas. Mia C. Crest says, good points. New Mexico needs the boost. Well, I say this. It would be very helpful for New Mexico. The oil revenue coming in, going into New Mexico is going to be very helpful for the economy. I would also say that there is a lot of growth potential in the oil industry, as well as the solar energy and the wind energy industries. The stuff is there. I think, one of the biggest hurdles right now is just the infrastructure is relatively limited. In order to grow that potential in the oil industry in New Mexico, there needs to be more potential, more roads need to be built for shipping, more pipeline needs to be built. It's all about building the potential, building more infrastructure, building more. It's about doing more to build that potential up. Realizing that the potential is there and the production is there. The production has tripled over the last 5 years. Now, now what needs to be done is to build more infrastructure to help build up the oil industry even more in the state. And what also, and with the solar energy and the wind energy industries in New Mexico, it's all about, building it up. It's being built up now. It's been happening for the past few years, and New Mexico certainly has the potential to do it, the potential to do even more. It's like a lot's being done, and there's a lot of room to do even more. There's more, there's room to do more. There's right now, it's just like there's room for all three industries that I've mentioned. There is room to do more, and it could rival Texas in terms of what it produces in terms of energy. I mean, when you look at Texas, they're doing a lot of wind energy, solar energy. Not as much solar, and there's definitely the potential for Texas to produce even more solar energy. But you look at Texas with its solar energy, with its oil industry, its wind energy. There's certainly a lot of potential for Texas as it's building that up. That same potential is with New Mexico.
Only issue is the water we share with Texas and Mexico that we get from the Colorado. We need more desalination plants. Yeah.
Um, Rachel Tovar, I get that you get a lot of water from the from the. I understand New Mexico gets some of its water. I understand that the Rio Grande River flows through both New Mexico and Texas, but the Colorado River, it flows through Colorado, Utah, Arizona, Nevada, and California. I understand that the mountains of New Mexico could contribute a lot of water to New Mexico. Desalination plant. I just thought of something. There's an aquifer somewhere in Albuquerque, and I think it's not being used because it is sort of salty. In fact, I've got to look that up right now just to confirm. Because it's funny that you mentioned desalination plants. New Mexico is nowhere near an ocean, isn't anywhere near an ocean, so it's kind of bizarre that you mentioned desalination plants. But the thing about it is, I thought, wait, New Mexico has an aquifer in that state that's kind of well salted. I'm gonna look that up right now because I know that the Rio Grande River is a supplier of water in New Mexico. I also understand that there are some aquifers in New Mexico. What I don't under what I also know is that it's nowhere near an ocean. So I'm thinking when you said desalination plants, I'm thinking California could benefit from a desalination plant. Texas could benefit, but New Mexico is further away from the ocean than other places. But yeah, I do know that there are some aquifers in New Mexico that are like,
There's one in Alamogordo and talks of building one in Santa Teresa.
I just thought about something. They might need a desalination plant because I understand that there are some aquifers in New Mexico that are kind of saline and therefore not quite usable. But I would say that with the oil revenues coming in, that could definitely be something that New Mexico looks at in terms of water quality. Because we're talking about a state that we're talking about a state in which the desert is a big part of the geography. It's not the only part, but it is a big part of the geography there. And when you're in an area that's relatively arid, you're going to need to figure out what are you going to do about your water resources. You're going to so the desalination plants, that would be something to look at. Desalination of water is not cheap, but other than that, I think about the oil revenues coming in for New Mexico. I think about the solar energy industry and the wind energy industry, and I think about how the land is going to play a big part in the potential for building up. You know, it's going to be a major benefit to the economy and how the lay of the land, the geography could very well be used to New Mexico's advantage. And that is what I have to say about the land of enchantment, as New Mexico is known as. There's a lot of potential, you know, there's potential for growth, and it's certainly taking place. You have the rapid rise of oil production in New Mexico. You have solar energy and wind energy resources in New Mexico and the potential to build up even more. So there's a lot to look at and a lot to see over the next 5 years. This will be the end of my stream. I hope all of you enjoyed it. Be sure to share this I hope you shared this with some people. But until next time, this is the Geo Scholar. Be sure to be sure to check out other videos on my channel. Be sure to like this video. Be sure to like and subscribe to other videos that you would, because this right here, this live stream, this is just one small part of what I do. I've got other videos that you should look at.
Must start work.
Thank you. Mia, thank you for watching.
Thank you from a New Mexican.
Rachel Tovar, thank you for watching. Thank all of you. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for watching until next time. This is the Geo Scholar. I'm signing off.